Reuters journalists Valon, L, and Kyo, who are based in Myanmar, posed for a picture at the Reuters office in Yangon, Myanmar, December 11, 2017. Picture taken December 11, 2017. The arrest of two Reuters journalists in Yangon this week was a signal that press freedom is shrinking in Myanmar and the international community must do all it can to get them released, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said on Thursday. Guterres said his main concern over Myanmar was the dramatic violations of human rights during a military crackdown in Rakhine State that forced more than 6 lakh Rohingya Muslims to flee the country for southern Bangladesh, and the arrest of the journalists was probably related. It is clearly a concern in relation to the erosion of press freedom in the country, he told a news conference in Tokyo, referring to the detention of Valon and Kyo, who had been working on stories about the strife in Rakhine State. And probably the reason why these journalists were arrested is because they were reporting on what they have seen in relation to this massive human tragedy, he added. Myanmar's Ministry of Information said in a statement on Wednesday that the Reuters journalists and 2 policemen faced charges under the British colonial-era Official Secrets Act. The 1923 law carries a maximum prison sentence of 14 years. The reporters illegally acquired information with the intention to share it with foreign media, the ministry said in its statement, which was accompanied by a photo of the 2 reporters in handcuffs. Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh say their exodus from the mainly Buddhist nation was triggered by a military offensive in response to Rohingya militant attacks on security forces at the end of August. The United Nations has branded the military's campaign in Rakhine State, a textbook example of ethnic cleansing of the minority Rohingya. Guterres said the international community should do everything possible to secure the journalists' release and freedom of the press in Myanmar. He called for it to be delivered, violence contained and reconciliation promoted in Rakhine State, and for the Rohingyas' right of return to be fully respected and implemented. Location unknown. Britain has expressed grave concerns to the government of Myanmar over the arrest of the 2 journalists, Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson told reporters in London on Thursday. We are committed to freedom of speech and people's ability to report the facts and bring into the public domain what is happening in Rakhine State, he said. Canada's Minister of Foreign Affairs Chrystia Freeland tweeted that she was deeply concerned by the reports about the arrests. Freedom of the press is essential for democracy and must be preserved, she said. And the President of the European Parliament Antonio Tajani also called on Myanmar to protect media freedoms and release the 2. Valon and Kyo went missing on Tuesday evening after they had been invited to meet police officials over dinner on the outskirts of Yangon. The authorities have not confirmed where the journalists are being held and, as of Thursday evening, Reuters had not been formally contacted by officials about their detention.